What's up guys, Metapunk here. Today I want to talk about CBDC adoption and also the technologies behind CBDCs. Okay, so this video is a part 2 of the CBDC video I did earlier. The first video is more on what CBDCs are and how I see them being adopted. And then now in this video I'm going to talk about the different technologies and how they're being implemented today. So first off, I have an article from the Hedera Foundation, and it talks about different partnerships within this article. So it highlights different partnerships with CBDC. So you have RippleNet and also Hedera. So starting with Ripple, they state that Ripple is a leader in enterprise blockchain technology that offers a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and also redeeming central bank digital currencies. And these are a few partnerships that Ripple already has. So you have the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, and then also the Republic of Palau. But to start off with Bhutan, they're piloting a retail cross-border and wholesale payment use case for their own sovereign digital currency by using Ripple's sustainable and interoperable solutions. And also the Republic of Palau, they're developing different strategies for cross-border payments and a USD-backed digital currency for Palau. And this partnership can see the implementation of the world's first government-backed national stablecoin on XRPL. So by utilizing Ripple's private CBDC ledger, central banks can manage the CBDC lifecycle that offers many benefits such as stability, security, and resilience, easy access and financial inclusion, interoperability with multiple payment systems, and also overlay services. This service is also very low in energy consumption and is very sustainable. So each one of these RippleNet solutions are built on a private ledger that's based on the XRP ledger, which is proven to provide a sustainable and efficient technology. So over 70 million transactions were conducted on the XRP ledger within 10 years, and they have multiple partnerships with different banks and institutions all across the world. Okay, so now we're going to talk about building CBDCs on the Hedera network. So it's very high performance. So for any use case that you want to do on the CBDC, it's going to be very efficient and then very scalable just because it's a DAG technology. It's made to scale. So the more people that use it, the better it's going to be. You can utilize the service 24/7 compared to the traditional services that we have now. Hedera is also very eco-friendly. They follow a lot of the ESG guidelines and also a lot of the carbon credit guidelines that are going to be more utilized in the future. They have very low and predictable transaction costs compared to the current money system that we have now. Almost every transaction on the Hedera network are fractions of a penny. So using this compared to the current money system where it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to do one transaction is definitely a better alternative. You could bring rapid deployment, so you don't have to utilize a lot of developer resources. It's very easy to build on here. It's very compatible with a lot of other ecosystems. And also this platform will bring a lot of transparency and trust because of the Hedera governance consensus. So adopting CBDC technology, there's a lot of partnerships that have been taking place. So a lot of these solutions are going to bring advanced economy central banks, and combining different solutions from different technologies. There are a lot of different institutions that came together. So you have a lot of academic institutions and different innovators in the tech space. So for example, you have MIT's Digital Currency Initiative that has worked with the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston for several years. And also you have different partnerships with Bank of Canada and also the Bank of England. And below here, it shows the different institutions and also technology platforms. So you have different sectors such as research partners, third-party technology partners, solution providers, and infrastructures. So starting with the research partners, they conduct academic and theoretical research that supports central banks for technical exploration of CBDCs. So in this list, you have the Digital Currency Initiative for MIT and also the Bank of International Settlements. For the third-party technology partners, they're going to provide third-party consultancy services, project management, and also different technology resources. So you have institutions like Accenture, IBM, DXC, and also Bearing Point. For the solutions providers, they're going to provide a full stack of CBDC solutions that will bring value to the whole CBDC platform. So different institutions on this list, you have MTech, Bit, Ripple, Prosperous, GD, and eCurrency. And for infrastructure, they're going to act as the network that can be used for the core of the CBDC ledger, whether they're distributed ledger technology or non-DLT based. So you have different platforms like Algorand, Amazon Web Services, Hyperledger, Corda, Hedera, Stellar, and Ripple. So that's the main thing with these CBDCs in this new digital economy. It's going to bring a lot of interoperability and a lot of partnerships. That's why I think in the current landscape we have in the cryptocurrency space, there's a lot of digital islands. So you have platforms like Bitcoin and Ethereum that are both their own platform. There's no real interoperability. You need different layer 2 solutions to even bring interoperability or scalability. So that's why I like to highlight these projects, because they're built for interoperability and scalability. So down here, you have the different DLT platforms that can be utilized by CBDCs. So Algorand's CBDC platform can be used as a sidechain of the public Algorand ledger. This can do up to 1,000 to 3,000 transactions per second. This is a very low number. I think Algorand has a lot of room to scale. And currently, I think they can do up to 8,000 transactions per second. So as time goes on, it's definitely going to be a lot higher. It's very robust to use, and some notable partnerships they have are the Marshall Islands. You have Hedera Hashgraph that can do up to 10,000 transactions per second. And then Hedera is unique because of its fast settlement times, finality. It's very energy efficient, and also the Hedera governance. And Hedera already has a partnership with Haiti. You have Hyperledger that's used as a layer 2. It's a private and permission platform compared to something like Hedera and Algorand. Hyperledger can do 3,000 to 20,000 transactions per second. It's also very modular, so it can bring a lot of its solutions within its own network to the CBDCs. And different partnerships that they have. You have the Eastern Caribbean, Saudi Arabia, and the partnership with the Bank of International Center. So now you have R3 Corda, which is a layer 1 blockchain that's private and permission that can do up to 200 to 300 transactions per second, which I think will be a lot higher in the future. It's enterprise grade. Different partnerships they have Kazakhstan, Sweden, and different partnerships within the Bank of International Settlements. So Ripple, which utilizes a sidechain on the XRP ledger. Their version is private and permission. This could do up to 10,000 plus transactions per second. It's enterprise grade and also very carbon neutral. And like we stated before, different partnerships like Bhutan and Palau. And then you have Stellar, which is a layer 1. And Stellar is open source, so a lot of people can utilize their platform. Their platform can do up to 1,000 to 10,000 transactions per second. It has very enhanced technology, and it's also compliant with a lot of the regulations in the finance space. And the one partnership that they have is with Ukraine. So the thing with the platforms I showed you beforehand, they all bring different solutions that can help benefit each other because they all have their own unique features and functionalities. So this means that they're all interoperable within each other, and also the existing payment systems, such as a system like Swift. And they're also interoperable with different ISO 2022 based payment systems. So these all can bring different features such as mobile wallet support, different testing environments, and also the support of programmable payments. So as you can see here, it provides multiple solutions. So over on this side, you have all the regulatory compliances right here. And then also you have the different interfaces. So you can see it can connect with different platforms and different networks. So you have Swift, ACH, IMF, Ethereum, and also multiple international banks. So bringing all these to one network. You have different clearing houses. So you have CBDC exchangers, clearing wallets, real-time settlement services, cross-border transfer services, and also cross-bank exchangers. And then down here, you have multiple solutions such as CBDC minting, the peer-to-peer transfer services, peer-to-peer contracts, and also all the ledgers and records that are on the service. So once again, having a full stack solution such as Prosperous that can combine a lot of services on one platform that brings a lot of interoperability, I really see these kind of platforms being the main solutions for CBDCs. So once again, down here, you can see all the solutions that they provide. Pretty much all these platforms pass the checklist. So the only one that doesn't really pass the checklist is Codify because they don't have offline payment support and a point of sale support. But the main thing with all of these, they're all interoperable and provide multiple solutions for the CBDCs. So these are the main features that these services bring. So some common features in these stacked CBDC platforms, they all bring ISO 2022 interoperability, mobile wallet support, point of sale support, and also access to sandbox testing environments and different ways that they provide solutions. It could bring specific infrastructure layers that can be used within the solution. It could provide different programmable payment systems. Some have offline payment capabilities. These platforms all have experience being an enterprise production payment network, and also they're all sustainable. So now I'm going to end this part off with all the different CBDC solutions that were created and implemented within the past few decades. And I'm only going to showcase the cryptocurrency and DLT platforms. So you can see different notable names like Algorand, Celo, Consensus, Hedera, IBM, R3, Ripple, Stellar, and Tezos. So that's the main thing with CBDC adoption. Not all of them have to be DLT or cryptocurrency based. I just still think it's important to see these different solutions because if these networks, such as Stellar or XRP, are being utilized on a CBDC platform on a global enterprise scale, I think it really shows the potential and the efficiency of these networks. So if you have a decentralized ledger like the XRP ledger that's used on institutions, I think it's good for people like me and you to build on these networks because it's going to be utilized both for people like me and you and also the institutions. So I just see a lot of upside potential within these networks. So two good websites of showcasing the CBDC adoption in the world. You have CBDCtracker.com and also the Atlantic Council that both showcase the adoption of CBDCs. So as you can see here on the CBDC tracker, it shows the adoption and where they are in the world. So you can see a lot of the Eastern countries over here. They're either in proof of concept or pilot. And then over here on the West, you have a lot of countries that are in research except Canada and Brazil. I think it's really interesting to see a website like this because it really shows where we are in CBDC adoption. And the fact that a lot of countries are already in a pilot service or a proof of concept, it really shows that adoption is really picking up. And I truly believe by 2023 through 2025, a lot of systems are going to go fully live and we're really going to be in a more digital economy. So once again, I really want to showcase to you guys the different solutions that I see being as the main ones being utilized when these platforms go live. So starting off, we have the Digital Pound Foundation, and you can see a lot of multiple platforms with different solutions. So in that last Hedera article, they actually showcased Accenture as one of the solutions. And then you have Ripple, that was part of the article as well. But over here, you have different cryptocurrency networks like Avalanche, Electroneum, and Quant, which all have their own unique use case. So I think overall Quant is going to be one of the main ones that's really going to bring connectivity to these platforms because it can easily connect these DLT platforms like Ripple and XRP with these traditional firms as well. So I can see Quant being a really big player. And one of my previous videos with DLT and interoperability, I kind of went more in depth on the Digital Pound Foundation and what these solutions do. So as CBDC adoption is really picking up, you see a lot of different organizations such as the Digital Euro Association, the Digital Pound Foundation, and also different ones like the Digital Dollar Project. And if you really deep dive on these different platforms, a lot of their partnerships are with different networks like Ripple and also Hedera. So one big thing I really want to say to you guys, I know I always say this, but I think it's really important to really understand what this really means. So the fact that countries like the United States and also different countries like the United Kingdom or other European countries are trying to adopt a digital dollar system, a digital payment system, it really shows that we're entering into a new economy because the current money system that we're in now really benefits the United States and also the countries within Europe because a lot of developing countries have to rely on the dollar, the pound, and the euro. So now that every country can develop their own CBDC platform, utilizing their own sovereign currency, it's really going to change the economy because, for example, you can have a developing country in Africa that might at one point really relied on the dollar, but now they can use their own currency in a digital payment system, which can really bring a lot of growth. So I can see a lot of developing countries, for people that are very tech savvy or just overall very smart in the tech field, I could see them having very efficient economies and a new digital economy because now they'll have the same opportunities such as countries like the United States or different European countries. Okay, so getting into the Digital Euro Association, this is an association that wants to shape the future of digital money. And this is a group of different institutions and also tech providers. They want to come together and bring different solutions for CBDCs, stablecoins, cryptocurrency assets, and other forms of digital money. And they want to focus on creating a private and public version of the digital euro. So over here on their website, they state that the very first publications of a digital euro started all the way back in November 2019. And from then to now, there's a lot of research going into this association. So the development of a digital euro is actually expected to start in October 2023. And then it's going to be fully implemented and launched around 2026. But in my opinion, with a lot of the macro events in the economy, I think that this digital system can launch way earlier than we think. Okay, so getting into the different partnerships that they have within this ecosystem, you have Ripple, which is one of the big names that we always talk about. You have RTGS Global. And then down here you have the Hamburg Commercial Bank, which is located in Germany. You have Circle, which is the company behind the USDC stablecoin. Different names like the Association of German Banks, the Web3 Foundation, Blockchain for Europe, the Digital Pound Foundation, the CBDC Conference, the Global Impact FinTech Forum, CBDC Think Tank, and also the European Blockchain Convention. There was other notable names on here, but I just didn't want to list them all because it was going to take a while. But I'm going to leave the link to the website below if you want to check it out for yourself. Okay, so now we have the Digital Dollar Project, which is similar to the Digital Pound Foundation and also the Digital Euro Association. It's to create a nonprofit organization for the development of a US CBDC. And one of the main partners of this platform is Accenture, which is one of the big names that I showcased in that first article as well. And as I was doing research on this organization, I saw this article from Hill House, and it stated that it was rumored that Hedera is actually working on this project as well. So I went on Twitter, and there's a tweet from Hedera, and they state that the MTech initiative, which is creating Project New Dawn, they're going to leverage Hedera for interoperability and also provide public trust in a private CBDC network. So if we actually go to this white paper on Project New Dawn, it actually showcases and highlights a lot of interesting things on here. So on the cover letter of Project New Dawn, it states one of the main reasons why they want to create a CBDC platform. So they state that U.S. congressional leaders search for digital and inclusive solutions to reach low-income, cash-based, and unbanked citizens. So in the 2017 survey, the FDIC estimated that over 60 million people were either unbanked or underbanked. And the 2020 crisis really highlighted the problem with this because not everyone had a bank account to receive the stimulus checks. So in my personal opinion, I think that if we were to face another crisis similar to that, I think that's when CBDCs are really going to be implemented because it's instant programmable money that people could just receive on their phone. They don't need a bank account. So the main points of this CBDC, it's going to directly address the inclusion and inequality gaps left by the current banking system. So they want to aim to give everyone a digital means to hold and pay with digital cash. They want to boost liquidity in the market with real-time and final settlements. They want to interoperate with banks and non-banks. They want to leverage blockchain for trust, transparency, and privacy. And they want to disincentivize bad actors. I think that's the main thing when really going through these white papers. You really want to see the keywords that these banks and institutions use. And then you want to go to the different technologies that provide solutions to a lot of these white papers. So you can see boost of liquidity and real-time and finality settlements. That's something that Hedera Hashgraph and that's something that RippleNet and XRP can utilize within their solutions. You can see interoperate with banks and non-banks. That's something that XRP, Hedera, and Stellar can do. Leveraging blockchain for trust, transparency, and privacy. The networks that I showcased beforehand utilize blockchain. They're all public networks that can bring trust and transparency, and they're also private because they're cryptographic networks that can't be tampered with. So I think in the future, we're going to see a lot of things get exposed in the current money system, a lot of bad actors, and you can see a lot of things are picking up in this current day, such as the FTX collapse. And I think we're going to see different catalysts in the traditional banking system being exposed. So having a blockchain-based digital money system is going to be one of the solutions to a lot of the mispractice in the finance space that we see today. So this article pretty much talks about the reasons why they want to create this CBDC platform and the different technology solutions. So towards the end, they actually highlight the Hedera network as a collaborator. So they say that Hedera Hashgraph is a public distributed ledger for building decentralized applications. Developers can build secure, fair, blazing fast decentralized applications on top of the Hedera platform. And the Hedera co-founder and CEO patented the groundbreaking Hashgraph technology after working together at the United States Air Force Academy and as founders of Trio Security. They also state that Hedera is the only public distributed ledger network built to run mission-critical enterprise workloads. Hedera is owned and governed by leading global institutions across various industries, including Boeing, Doge, DLA Piper, FIS WorldPay, Google, IBM, LG, Magalu, Nomura, Swirlds, Swisscom Blockchain, Tata Communications, University College of London, and Wipro. The Hedera Consensus Service is a globally distributed fair ordering service that allows any application to leverage the performance and security features of the Hashgraph consensus algorithm. The Hedera Consensus Service can be plugged into private permission networks like Hyperledger Fabric, R3 Corda, or Corium to extend the utility of private networks while enabling them to enjoy decentralization at the scale of public networks. And I also want to add this part right here. It's towards the bottom of the article. And this part is the Automatic Boost to Communities Act. And if you go to the last part, one of the last things they state is the focus is on UBI with $2,000 a month and involves money from the Treasury or MMT. And UBI is Universal Basic Income. So on Investopedia, this is the definition of UBI. So UBI is a government program in which every adult citizen receives a set amount of money regularly. The goals of a basic income system are to alleviate poverty and replace other need-based social programs that potentially require greater bureaucratic involvement. The idea of universal basic income has gained momentum in the US as automation increasingly replaces workers in manufacturing and other sectors of the economy. So that's why I think it's important to really understand the importance of the shift that we're going into, because if CBDCs are live and we're getting instant programmable money, and you can also see in this white paper that they want to initiate some sort of UBI system once the CBDCs go live. And if you really think about it, the fact that a lot of jobs are declining in the economy, people are losing hours, and a lot of people are losing their jobs because of machine autonomy. And you can actually see that some jobs are implementing a 4-day work week. So I feel like now we're just getting conditioned to either not working or working a lot less. So I think you combine all these factors and the fact that in 2020, most of us received some sort of stimulus check. Just combining all these factors is really showing that we are going to a new monetary system. Not to say that I agree with it, it's just where I see things headed in the future. And because this new way of life is taking place, this is why I think in the future we're going to be in a more creative driven economy. We're going to be more relying on social media or online business models. And this is why I also think that the metaverse is here to stay, because you can create a lot of communities and a lot of online businesses through the metaverse. And the fact that we can all connect with each other on a global scale, and a lot of these metaverse systems are going to be interoperable within each other, that's another catalyst. And in another video, I really want to go in depth on how I see the metaverse taking place. So I find it really interesting deep diving in these different white papers and seeing the different technologies behind these ecosystems. Because from the outside, if you really don't deep dive on the technology and the partners, you would have no idea that something like Hedera Hashgraph is being utilized in a system like this. And also collaborating with different platforms like MTech and Microsoft to create this one digital payment system. So going back to the Atlantic Council CBDC Tracker, you can actually see where these countries are and what technologies are being utilized. So if you go to the filtering system, I can actually go to Ripple. And as you can see, it shows where they are and what technologies are being utilized for their CBDC. So if you go to Bhutan, you can see that it's in development. It's being utilized for a retail and wholesale CBDC for the use case. And then it utilizes Ripple's technology. And then for Palau, it's in development as both a retail and wholesale CBDC. It utilizes Ripple's technology, and then it's also a DLT platform. That's why I like a website like this. It can really show the adoption curve and what systems are being developed and how they're being developed from a technology standpoint. So if you actually click on the project, it goes in depth on what the CBDC platform is and what they want out of it. So as you can see here, you have the name of the project right here. So their partnership with Ripple first started in 2021. And their overall goal is to create a retail and wholesale and cross-border digital currency. And the motivations for this and their overall motivation to create this project is to accelerate its mission to increase financial inclusion in Bhutan to 85% by 2023. And then you can see different sources over here. Even on the CBDC tracker, you can go in here and it shows different resources on here. So you can click on it and it'll bring you to different articles, the different motivations, and just the overall description of what the CBDC platform is going to be like. But the problem is with these platforms, if I go on the XRP filter, it doesn't show the other partnership that the Atlantic Council shows over here. So you can't see the Palau partnership on the CBDC tracker, which is the only downside. They're not fully updated on both websites. So an interesting thing about a lot of the CBDC adoption, there's going to be a lot of technologies that you don't see out in the open. So for example, you have Stellar, that's part of the Brazilian CBDC platform. So there's a consortium called the Brazilian Lift Challenge. And if you go to the website, this is going to be the platform that's going to create the digital real, which is the currency in Brazil. And if you go down to the partnerships, you have different platforms like Aave, the Bank of Brazil, Bitcoin Market, which is the cryptocurrency exchange you utilize over there, Visa Brazil. So as you can see here, you don't see Stellar on this platform. So I did some research and I found out that Mercado Bitcoin which is the cryptocurrency exchange that is part of this, they're actually partnered with Stellar. So I saw on the Stellar website, Mercado Bitcoin partners with Stellar Development Foundation in the Lift Challenge. So that's the real interesting thing. Not a lot of these platforms are directly showcased, because if you go on the Bank of Brazil CBDC platform on the CBDC tracker, you don't see Stellar anywhere on this. Same with the CBDC tracker. You can see Ave, Santander, Bank of Brazil, February, G&D, Itaú Unibanco, Bitcoin Market, Techbon, Vert, and Visa Brazil. And then, as you can see, you don't see Stellar. So it's like really digging deep on these different technology providers and seeing what technology is being utilized in these systems. All right, so going back to the Brazil CBDC, it's actually set to launch by 2024. So that's one CBDC to look out for. You can see Stellar's partnership with Ukraine over here with their CBDC. So if you go to the CBDC tracker, you can actually track what's going on. So this started all the way back in 2016, and they actually launched a successful pilot service of their sovereign currency, which took place between December 2018 and February 2019. And now the main thing is really passing regulations for CBDCs. And the full partnership really got started in March 2022, where Stellar fully announced their partnership of the CBDC platform, despite the invasion of Russia. So I think as that war really continues, we're going to possibly see a lot of insolvencies in the banks. So I think having the CBDC platform is going to bring a lot of solutions from a financial standpoint. Okay, so now going over to Algorand, it's going to show the different solutions that Algorand brings to different countries. And one interesting thing for the people that don't know, El Salvador actually utilizes Algorand for blockchain infrastructure for their government. And I just find that interesting because people only talk about the Bitcoin adoption, but no one talks about the Algorand partnership. And Algorand's utilized for different use cases such as Bermuda for healthcare payment systems, Panama for healthcare payment systems, Colombia for secure and transparent medicine verification, immutable copyright for different NFTs in Italy. And then lastly, you have the Republic of Marshall Islands that utilizes Algorand for a national digital currency. So it states that the Marshall Islands is the first country to adopt a national digital currency, and this is known as the SOV. And this digital currency circulates alongside the US dollar, and it's going to help the Marshall Islands efficiently operate in the global economy. And they chose Algorand for the SOV because of its fast transaction speeds. It's very scalable, it's very secure, and then it can be used in a multifunctional way. So we can easily issue, manage, and distribute the SOV currency on a global level. So yeah, once again, a lot of these projects that I showcase, they're very efficient, they're very scalable, they're very interoperable. So in a more digital and global economy, these solutions are going to be very big powerhouses in my opinion, because these technologies check all the boxes that these banks and institutions want in an efficient technology and CBDC platform. Okay, another one that doesn't really get talked about too much, but that's XDC, and that's a partnership with XDC and R3 Corda. So R3 is a private blockchain network that can connect with XDC, which is a public network, and XDC brings a lot of trade finance solutions. So I think these two combined can be a big powerhouse when implementing CBDC technologies. And as you can see here from this tweet from XX on Twitter, there's a lot of different Bank of International Settlements CBDC projects, and R3 Corda is partnered up with a lot of these projects. So that's where I think something like XDC can be used as a solution as well with R3 Corda. And in another video, I really want to break down all these different CBDC projects, because I find it interesting. There's so many different solutions and different big banks and institutions that are being partnered to create these different CBDC platforms, and I just feel like they don't really get talked about. So I definitely want to deep dive in a separate video. So another cryptocurrency and DLT platform that can be utilized within CBDCs, you can utilize the private network Hyperledger and integrate IOTA's Tangle to bring a lot of efficient solutions to CBDCs. And I think this is a really interesting partnership because IOTA brings a lot of solutions to the fourth industrial revolution, whether it's Internet of Things, machine automation, or just even smart contract development. And IOTA is a very efficient network because it's not a blockchain technology, it's a DAG technology, so it's almost infinitely scalable. And it's just overall very efficient to use. So this is a very interesting project, and I have not seen any adoption on it yet. But I truly think in the future that something like Hyperledger and IOTA is going to be utilized to bring a lot of solutions to CBDCs and just institutions as a whole. So another interesting partnership to look into, you have the Cypherium blockchain that has this partnership with China's blockchain-based service network. And there are also other blockchain networks that are part of this service network, such as Ethereum, Hyperledger, Tezos, Solana, and others. And the main thing with the BSN, it's a platform where developers can access development tools and also deploy their decentralized applications. And this network runs through cloud-based city nodes in China and also different countries abroad. So with Cypherium, this is a permissionless layer 1 blockchain protocol that enables the exchange of central bank digital currencies, stablecoins, and other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And the fact that it's permissionless, it allows anyone to participate in its governance. And more than likely, their system is going to be changed to be more integrated with the Chinese version of the BSN. And this is going to allow all these chains to comply with Beijing's regulations. So if we go into the partnerships of the BSN, you can see the different permission chains such as Hyperledger and Consensus. For the permissionless chains, they have Ethereum, EOS, Tezos, Oasis, Polkadot, Casper, Fedora, Near, and Clayton. And then you can see the different cloud services. So the notable ones are ones like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, China Telecom, other technical partners. So you have different names like DAML, Defuse, EOS Nation, Industria, and the founding members of the BSN are the State Information Center, China Mobile, China Union Pay, and Red Date Tech. And the BSN actually created a really big user manual on how to implement and build on different blockchain networks. So as you can see here on the table of contents, you have different categories. So you could deep dive into the different permission services, permissionless, the interoperable services. So down here, you can see the different permissionless services. So it's the names that we stated beforehand, like Ethereum, EOS, Tezos, EOS, Oasis Network, Polkadot, Casper, Fedora, Near, and Clayton. So I think a manual like this is really interesting to look at because it really shows the development side of these projects. So as you can see here, it shows the developer window of how to actually implement and create these projects. And I want to go down and showcase the different networks. So it actually goes in depth of what these technologies are and their capabilities of what they can do. So it shows a brief description of Ethereum. It shows the error codes, and it shows the different limits and capabilities of utilizing these networks. So I think this is an interesting manual to look. Okay, so I showed a lot of the partnerships, but now I'm going to get into other countries that are actually implementing CBDCs in the future. So this is not directly a CBDC platform, but you have FedNow in the United States, which is a 24/7 payment solution that's going to be utilized before a CBDC, and maybe it will turn into a CBDC eventually, but I don't think it will be the digital dollar. You also have the Bank of Japan that are running different CBDC tests, and they're most likely going to implement the digital yen by 2026. And like I said beforehand, these systems may be integrated way earlier than we think, but it's just interesting to see the Bank of Canada really speeding up their adoption of CBDCs. So 2023 may be a big year for Canada. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. So yeah, those are the main technologies I really want to showcase to you guys for CBDC adoption. And like I stated beforehand, I really want to go through these projects right here. Shout out to XX on Twitter for making this graph right here. So I'm going to go through each project and really deep dive on what technologies are being utilized. As you can see, he already stated a bunch over here. So you have like R3, Accenture, Corium, and many more. So quickly going over to the list, these are the main ones that I really want to showcase to you guys. That's the main thing with these projects. A lot of them aren't fully implemented, but I think they have a lot of potential to be adopted because of their overall network efficiency and different solutions that they bring to CBDCs. And before I really end things off, I really want to state that I'm not necessarily for CBDCs. I think there are a lot of negatives and a lot of positives. You know, I think from a negative side, if they're not utilized correctly, that I think certain banks in certain countries can really bring control over the citizens. But at the same time, it can bring a lot of efficiency and financial inclusion if utilized correctly. Okay, so it's your boy Metapunk. Thank you for watching, and I'm signing out.